Hey, this is Kyo Freeman with Chic Real Estate. Today, let's talk about the Four Noble Truths. Of course, the Four Noble Truths relates to Buddhism, and we are not talking about Buddhism so much, although there is a level of enlightenment and nirvana in owning a home. And so we're talking about the four truths about home ownership today. And the first one is that home ownership is expensive. To buy a home, to own a home can be expensive. It is likely the biggest investment you're going to make that's not your children. So you have to come to terms with that before you decide that this is the right thing for you to go into. And we can talk about why you would or not, but the most important thing for you to understand, the first truth of home ownership, is that it's expensive. The second truth of home ownership is that it is a big responsibility. Again, none of these truths are things that are mind-blowing in terms of like you couldn't tell that was the case. But home ownership, you have to think about the fact that in owning a home, you're going to have to take responsibility for this property to both maintain and in some cases enhance the property. Not just for yourself, but even for your neighbors who may one day want to sell their homes and they want to have the highest value possible. Oftentimes, people buy homes for the fact that it can be a really good investment in your financial future. And that is 100% true, that you can buy a home for that purpose. But keep in mind that home ownership is illiquid. You can't just take money out of the home whenever you want to. It's not a savings account or anything of that nature. So the money sort of sits there and matures within the home. And so a lot of your worth, if it's in the home, is going to be there, but it's not something you have access to 24/7. The fourth truth of home ownership is that it's a commitment. It's a commitment. You're committing to a place. Like when you rent, you can rent a different place every single year. I lived in Jacksonville when I was in my early 20s, and for the first 4 years, I would live in a totally different home every single year. It felt like I was always moving. I've lived in my house now for 15 years plus, and there's nothing I can do. I can't move to a different neighborhood. I can't just pick up my house and go elsewhere. It is a commitment. I've committed to this neighborhood. So if you commit to a neighborhood, plus you're committing to a city or state, and so if that's not something that you want to do, being a homeowner might not be your best interest. The other part of it is you got to commit to a job. You've got to pay the mortgage. Again, assuming you have a mortgage, you've got to pay for that every single month for 30 years, 360 months that you're doing that, or until you sell the property. So it's a commitment in both of those areas, and if you're not ready to do that, again, homeownership may not be for you. So keep in mind, the four noble truths. The four truths of homeownership are that it's a commitment, that the homeownership is illiquid, that homeownership is a responsibility, and that it is expensive. So if you understand those four truths and you come to terms with those four truths, it may be time for you to be a homeowner. This has been Kyo Freeman with Chic Real Estate. See you next time.